Hello, chemistry crew. It's Kara Lenorovitz, and welcome back. I hope that this finds each of you a little more well-rested and ready to go after your February break. So happy March, and officially welcome back to our next week of chemistry. Just going to quickly go over a little bit of housekeeping stuff, which I know you know, but we're getting back into the routine of a normal week after several that have been a little bit unusual. So again, hopefully you are using that weekly learning plan as a guide. Do make sure you're giving yourself a little context, and then also that you're accessing those additional resources that are inside of that weekly learning plan as well. We are back to a normal week this week, so we will be meeting and seeing each other for our regular synchronous session. So this Thursday, be ready to be on Zoom with your classmates from 9:30 to 10:15. We're going to be doing some work with our current content and doing a little bit of projection forward as well. And office hours are back again this week, so please feel free to reach out if you would like any additional help or support. I will be available as usual between 8:30 and 10:30 on Tuesday morning and between 1 and 3 on Wednesday afternoon. I'm more than happy to meet with you and love seeing you there, and love it when you bring your great questions, so continue to do that. In terms of upcoming stuff, we are going to be nearing the end of Module 6. So this week you're going to be learning a lot about pressure and temperature and volume and how those things relate. And that will be building up the last piece of what we're doing around ideal gases, or how gases behave in an ideal circumstance. Next week, the following week, you're going to be doing a virtual lab called the Ideal Gas Lab. So you're going to get to see how those variables interact with each other under lab-like conditions. You'll do your Module 6 DBA, and we'll start on a collaboration project. So you have some exciting things coming up in the near future as well. Let's jump out of here though, because you don't have to worry about February break, and take a look at what you will be doing this week. One of the biggest contexts that I think will be helpful for you this week is to imagine something that you know pretty well, and that is a balloon. You can think about a hot air balloon, you can think about a regular helium-filled balloon, but as you're working through your content this week, have that image in mind. You already have some experience with what might happen if you increase the pressure inside of that balloon or decrease the pressure, if you increase the temperature, or if you reduce or increase the volume. You're going to be thinking about that from a molecular perspective, and you're going to be applying some formulas and equations that relate those variables to each other. In the second part of what you're going to be working on, you're going to be working with what's called the ideal gas law. It's really taking the relationships that you'll have learned about in 6.03 and combining them all together in one equation. So you will become professional at remembering this acronym, PV equals nRT. The equation relates pressure and volume to the number of moles, a gas constant, which is just a constant value with units, and temperature. So you're going to be learning a little bit about what happens if you increase temperature to the pressure and volume. What happens if you increase the pressure to the volume and the temperature. So you're going to be playing around with those ideas a little bit more. And then, of course, on Thursday, you're going to attend class. And since sometimes I have to pretend what you look like on the other side, I'm going to pretend, if you don't show your face and just show your name, that you look like all of these smiling individuals that are here in this mock class below. Let's take a look at the weekly learning. As usual, the beginning of the weekly learning plan starts out with a quick description of an overview of what you're doing. There is a link here to a music video just to give you a little bit of musical interlude around pressure. If you want, go ahead and check it out. It might just give you a little bit more fun interaction there. Your learning objectives this week, just 2 areas of the modules, so 6.03 and 6.04. Reminders about communication and pacing, and then your to-do list. You will notice it looks a little lighter this week, and that's because many of you have a shortened week. So I did include for you as reference our DBA presentation from before February break. That's still there if you'd like to play around with it. You are going to be applying stoichiometry this week, so you might want to do just a little warm-up practice for yourself. In terms of the gas laws section, you're going to be doing, as usual, some reading and taking notes. There are 2 optional things that are built within the Canvas curriculum. The first one is a really quick thing that gives you something to manipulate that shows you and reminds you of the relationships between pressure, temperature, and volume. So if you are somebody who likes to have a manipulative available, it's something that you can use on quizzes and tests. I encourage you to do it. It won't take you more than about 5 minutes, maybe at maximum, to make. So you might want to check that out for yourself. The second thing is to do lab at home. For this one, please make sure you're using good safety practices and protocols. You're essentially going to be experimenting with what happens when you heat and then rapidly cool a very small number of water molecules inside an otherwise empty soda can. So think about what that's doing with pressure both inside and outside of that can. And then you're going to take a short quiz. The second part of this, you're going to be learning specifically about the ideal gas law. This one's pretty straightforward. There are a lot of good interactives within here. I strongly recommend as you're going through each of these that you actually do the practice math problems just so that you are getting that practice and starting to feel more confident with those calculations. Again, we will see each other for a regular class on Thursday. Office hours are already posted, so you're welcome to reserve those as you would like. And just a reminder that there's a preview about upcoming work there. So let's go back for a quick. All right, so what's up for this week? I suppose I could try and imitate my own Bitmoji here. But this week, you're going to be doing 6.03 and 6.04. Again, I really encourage you to relate the content back to examples that you know. Thinking about a balloon is a really helpful structure as you are working through this content. And again, make sure you're remembering your good stoichiometry and dimensional analysis skills. You want to carry those forward into the work that you're doing here. Remember that good mathematical analysis in chemistry and in math and in any science class means that you're both showing all of your work, so numbers and units, as using dimensional analysis, and then making sure you're thinking through your answer before you actually do that calculation. You will be linking the thinking that you're doing about gas, volume, pressure, and temperature back to a balanced chemical equation. So just be ready to make some of those connections. And then please do reach out for help if you need any. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to give you some assistance. Otherwise, I will plan on seeing you Thursday, March 4th for our regular synchronous time. Have a great week back.